In this world, angels live among us. Many great invincible beings of immeasurable power, a bridge between us and the gods. These creatures are not as you might imagine them. While some are human-like in their appearance, most are alien. A sitting mountain, a giant boar, a hovering sphere. Each of the angels provides a powerful boon to the surrounding area and its inhabitants. They do not speak to us. They do not move. We built our world around them. They shaped our cultures. We rely on them. Until something dark came along. Now, one by one, the angels have been slain. The people of the lands around them slaughtered. A wave of death is spreading across our world. Only a few places remain as a final bastion of life. Only a few against an endless horde of oblivion. And within these few, a single band of unlikely heroes, bound by forces beyond their understanding. In this world, there is only a single word that describes their soul-bound connection.
We return to the Wendigo Peaks and the Bloodvein Pass, where the party are all finishing up a long rest after opening up their little sheltering bowl that magically provides an unbelievably broken shelter for them, in which basically they become immune to everything that happens outside of it. And really the only way for any GM to do anything to them while they're in there is to have them be like, oh, I woke up, and then they step outside and there is just a bunch of animals waiting, which I'm not going to do. Or am I? Everyone roll a perception check.
I love DM regret.
Uh, 19 from Thrak and 9 from Jilden. Sierra's unconscious. I thought his eyes were open when he was unconscious, or something creepy happened with his extra eyes.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're like, ugh. Ah!
I probably would have done that.
Yeah, it's been a long. You've had a period akin to a long rest.
Okay.
I guess what you see is what's around you. You can see out of this bowl. There isn't anything in here. You're in an abandoned and unused forge, similar to what a dwarven forge might look like, but you know that the dwarves of the area are known as Darrow. They're slightly different to dwarves. They're kind of... you know what? I'm just going to leave it up to your interpretation, to be honest. The room that you're in, the chamber, was once a forge. There is a huge sort of towering statue of a four-eyed dragon. There is a colossal sort of dwarven figure that's been fashioned out of some of the rock. And the ever-flowing blood river continues to flow underneath you. The angel of this area is the river of blood itself. Bibble is with you. He is a Darrow, and I think he probably had a little nap and sleep as well. But what did you do? I feel like you told me what you guys ended up doing in the time last week, but I'm not too sure because I've completely forgotten everything.
So
I feel like you guys had like something that you did. I thought that you actually did recover Sia. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I would have had to cast remove. So I would have to long rest so that I could prepare the spell.
That's right. That's what you were doing,
yeah.
correct? Yep.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
So
okay.
now I can cast remove curse, and then heal him.
Yeah. How does that look? I think the bowl, because the bowl sort of after a certain amount of time, I'm just going to bring it back up for people who might be watching. They required this a very long time ago. A sheltering bowl is what it's called. And it's got a lot of text to it, but essentially they place a bowl down, speak a command word, and it turns into a big sort of protective dome. And after 8 hours, the dome breaks apart, the ethereal shards turn back into a physical bowl, and the feature can be used again after 12 hours. You've used it for today, but I think that happens, as the 8 hours hit, the familiar at this point, bowl defragmentation happens, and then it kind of turns back into a little bowl amongst you. I think Bibble sort of wakes up and says, "Oh, what's that?" Kind of confused because he doesn't know what the bowl is, but all of you are prepared to understand it. Seer remains unconscious. You're all at full health. You've all got all of your abilities and spell slots back, but Seer is currently cursed. So what do you do, and how does this remove curse spell happen?
Yeah. So I have him laid on his back with his, face up. And I'm knelt right above his head, and I bring my forehead to his forehead with my hand on his cheek. And I speak some short Goliath words in honor of Oriel. And as with my magic, it's always this sort of like snowy white light kind of magic. It would just sort of go from the top of his head all the way down to his toes in kind of like a full scan to purify every inch to remove the curse.
Yeah, and it does so. I'm just reminding myself of what the curse was. I don't know why I couldn't remember, but it's the curse is that you can't regain any HP and has a supernatural hunger. So what this does is it removes the curse, but he would still be on 0
That
HP.
saves.
So
Yeah.
he would just be stabilized, but he is on 0 HP, so he'd still be KO. Jilden, were you cursed?
I don't remember if we went back on it or not. I think I was bitten.
What was your HP before you did the long rest? Do you remember?
Not a clue.
Did you do it today?
I think she was cursed. Yes, I remember that.
I feel like she was as well.
We leveled up for those listening, so the HP reset, so I don't know.
Yeah, but technically yours wouldn't, even on a level up, because you just would not.
I wasn't low on health.
Yeah, I think
was like
you were like half or something.
Yeah. I'll say I was like 30.
Okay.
Well, what is your HP max?
And max HP is 56.
Roll a d56.
Oh, God.
It can't kill you. This is how much HP you have. 8.
Oh, for God's sake.
Over the night, this is what it is. There is an element to this curse, which is that you have a hunger to you. And I think for some reason, I don't know what this means. It just says that you have an intense hunger. And I think that you've just been suffering under this curse. Whatever wound you gained from the bite continued to get worse, right? Because you couldn't heal it. So you're still bleeding, you're still injured, and you had this wound overnight, and it's just continued to bleed and weep and get worse. And I would say that's why you're down to 8 HP. So actually, you're probably not looking great with the damage here. And you also just still have this weird curse. So maybe you've just been like eating. Eating through
I do
storage.
have
We
this
woke up to
Wendigo
find like all of our
skull.
supplies gone. You've just eaten every ration we have.
I don't know. Does Jilden have the sort of willpower to not do that?
Let's find out. No.
Oh my god.
I don't think she ate through everything, but she's probably eaten through a good chunk of it.
All of my rations are gone.
All of her rations are gone, and then a little bit of some of the others have gone as well.
The group rations.
Let's see. I'll roll sleight of hand to see if you'll have noticed me rummaging.
Jilden's rolling episode. Everything that Jilden does this episode must be rolled upon. Sleight of hand 14. This would be passive.
Perception.
This is everyone's passive perceptions.
Passive perception is 14. So does that mean she's successful or I'm successful?
She's successful because she's making the check, right?
Okay.
Makes it break.
Oh yeah, you steal all my rations.
Nice. And all of Sears because he's unconscious.
Yeah, I mean, so then I would come to you. Well, first I would heal Seer. Actually, no. Hold on. What I'm gonna do is, sorry, there's like an order that is best.
Yeah,
for
no,
this.
Seer's really.
But before you start, I don't know if you would know that I am not healed. Because I wouldn't. Children want to say anything.
Would I know that you have been cursed though?
I don't think you were close enough to see it. You were pretty far away.
Can I roll to see? Can I roll to see if I would be able to notice that she's cursed? Because it would be the same curse that Seer has, so I would kind of be like.
I mean, I think this really. I don't know if it necessarily means you know that she's cursed.
Okay.
But you'd have to know that she was bitten and has a bite and has a scratch on her somewhere. So I guess Jilden, where is the injury? I know we probably described something last week, but I can't remember. I don't think any of it
Actually, I'm
can.
trying to remember how it happened. Probably a leg.
I mean, you were bitten right up on it.
Yeah, but I was wild shaped as a wolf around its neck. I think when it happened, and then I got.
You baited an opportunity attack, and then it got you.
Yeah, as you were like scampering.
So it could be anything
back.
really. So let's just say it bit me on the leg as I pushed away from it.
And how well concealed is this leg wound over the night?
I mean, I'm covered in rags and random bits of cloth and blood and stuff
shell.
anyway, and shell. So it's probably fairly concealed.
And what about limping and stuff?
Yes, I would limp, but again, I usually walk with my staff. I'm old and a little bit shambly anyway, the best of times. So.
All right.
So you're trying to hide it from me.
Yeah, I think we'll do a contested check here. We'll do. So I think Cirrus can do either a perception, investigation, or a medicine check. I think any of those are fine. And Jilden, you can do either a deception, a performance, or do you know you could probably just make a constitution check, not a save, but a check. Although it's probably the same thing.
I'll do that. I don't think I'm trying to hide it per se. I'm just not trying to be found. 15.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, she's concealing it pretty well, even though she's not actively trying to. But I don't think you're aware. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you're aware that
All
she's
right.
cursed.
Okay.
You also know that she's able to heal herself, right? Jilden has some healing ability, so.
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably over the course of the year or so that you've known each other, a little over. There's probably been plenty of times where you've not really had to worry about Jilden over the night compared to the other two. You would have had, you turn around and you're like, hey, do you need healing? And she's just like, nope.
I do have a question.
I can sort myself out.
Yeah. Yes.
Aside from me not being able to be healed, was there any other indication that I am cursed?
There was the, we observed the magical bite happen. So, you could tell when this thing bit you, or at least I described it, definitely with you. I don't remember if I described it with Jilden, that there was a sort of magic element to this bite, because I wanted you to be aware of that. So I think it's fair to say that your cleric can be aware of the curse, along with the bite, which is why I focused on Jilden, whether you could see that she was wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Because you definitely know this thing curses upon its bites. I think maybe even Bibble would have explained that throughout the night as well to you. At some point, there's probably just a little side where you're talking about cleric things, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you could heal," and you're like, "Oh yeah." He was like, "Oh, I was throwing blood at you and stuff. That could have killed you. I'm an idiot." And you were like, "Ah, it's all good." And he's like, "Oh, by the way, those things when they bite you, it gives you a curse." And you're like, "Ah, that's what that was. Okay, well I'll heal him in the morning," and then we get to here.
Okay. Awesome.
So yeah, we're gonna go with through whatever circumstances you mentally need to figure out for yourselves. You are not aware that Jildan is cursed or even injured.
Okay.
But are aware, obviously, with Seer and the fact that he was unconscious. Would have
Okay.
indicated he was injured. So you figured
Yeah,
it
okay.
out.
So Seer, I cast Cure Wounds. So you take 8 healing damage. It's not very much. Wait, hold on. Was anyone else hurt? No, it's fine.
I think
Never mind.
everyone was, but the rest.
We rested.
Actually,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
think I was hurt at all, was I?
Wasn't you
No,
caught in the
you were
first
far.
cone of cold or whatever he did?
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah, which doesn't curse you, so.
Okay, cool.
Whose god do I have to thank?
Mine, primarily.
Oh. Figures.
You take another. I cast Healing Word on you, and you take another 9. Me having to count on my fingies like a child.
Appreciated.
Of course.
There's a song ringing in my head. I'm not sure where from. All I can hear is just da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Am I the only one?
Is he the only one?
You know, I've got absolutely no idea what he's doing, so.
I think you're the only
It was a
one.
throwback to
Yes.
the end of the last episode where you're like, when I wake up with the other character with Bibble.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Bibble was singing, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
No.
Campaign break.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, he
Hit
was
his
singing
head,
that song
did he?
all night. Bibble sang all sorts of songs. Old Lang Syne. I don't know any other Scottish songs. It's the Proclaimers and Old Lang Syne are the only 2 Scottish songs I know. Some Biffy Clyro. They're Scottish? I think they might be.
Yes.
Okay, so you are vaguely healed. I don't know if you're healed to full or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, then, I think you, over the, maybe there's a little bit of time where Seer is able to get his bearings and maybe eat a little bit of food or something.
Where'd all my rations go?
That's a good point, actually. You wake up and you have no rations. So maybe you don't eat any food.
Oh, what's wrong with your rations?
I was going for a snack. I had 40 individually wrapped mold parcels.
Mold parcels?
You
eat
just
mold?
heard unidentified munching from one side of the bowl.
I stared at the total.
But don't look at me. Wiping my mouth.
Say, Tortle, have you
I have a
always had
name.
spores around your... So you do. Have you always had spores around your mouth like that?
I don't know what you're talking about. Pull the mask a little bit lower. You probably haven't even seen the skull Wendigo skull that she now wears.
Oh. Whatever god you believe in is on your face.
This is what we call a trophy.
We can see out of this bowl, can't we? It's like completely transparent. So I point
Right.
There is no
towards-
bowl. The bowl's gone now.
Oh, is it gone now? Okay,
It's
cool.
dispersed and
In which case, I turn his attention to the large blood lightning bolt in the sky that has impaled this Wendigo without a skull.
I appreciated
Yes.
the call.
Should appreciate your life more. One more second and that'd have been you.
Why is that?
Out for the count, you were on the floor having a nap while the rest of us were doing all of the work. That's okay.
And you would have turned me into a statue.
Well, maybe not me, but somebody would have.
I
This
see.
place, blood magic, affects things in a strange way. Anyway, where are we going next?
I think we should see if we can get this forge working and see if we can use it to craft useful items. We don't know if there's anywhere else in the world that isn't completely destroyed, so this may be our best chance.
Right.
There's the forge. Yes. Of course.
We have to be wary and do this as quickly as possible.
When Sarah says be wary, my eyes flit back to the ceiling again, looking around to see if there are any more of these creatures, these Wendigos.
yeah, give me a perception check.
One perception check coming right up. 21.
21. The ceiling reveals that there are no Wendigos up there. It seems as if there's really nothing but you guys in this cave, but it's quite hard to tell fully because it goes so far down towards the river. And it's quite a large and sort of open, bizarre space with a huge opening that leads out to this ridiculously large set of bridges. But for now, it seems to be pretty empty. It's a bit like having the entire place be firelit, though, with the flickering of shadows. Everything is underlit. So even when you're looking around at each other, your faces would be lit from the bottom with a sort of red hue. So there's lots of corners of these places that kind of flicker and change with shadows that might leave you feeling a little more paranoid, but yeah, I don't think you're too bothered about anything suddenly leaping out at you anytime soon.
Very well. Well, if you're going to do something, then do it quick. Like Sarah says.
I would like to see, I'd like to inspect the corpse of the Wendigo and see if I could use perhaps some of the, I don't know what it's called when blood is turned into, I guess, glass or something. What would it look like?
I think it does look like glass to you, yeah, like coloured glass. Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Okay. 21.
Yeah, it's not quite glass. It's also not a crystallized version of the blood that is underneath you. This is just actual henomancy or bloodmancy. So this is just blood that's been pulled from the creature. Maybe some of it was pulled from you guys, you just weren't aware of it. Jildan pulled blood from almost thin air and created a sort of lance out of it. So it really is just crystallized normal blood. Not particularly useful for anything, but it looks nice.
Okay. Well, I'll try to figure out if there's a way I can use the tools and the forge to imbue my staff with the power of the bits of god or angel bone that we have.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, make me another Arcana check. This is just generally to understand the intricacies of blood, the properties of the angelic bone shard, and figure out how you can understand the harnessing of that power and potentially begin the process. 16 is a success. That is
Okay.
one success. You have to make many successes from now on, either by yourself or as a
Okay.
group. There are going to be lots of checks if you want to undergo this task. Depending on how many successes you get, depends on how successful you are and potentially what item comes out at the other end of this.
Okay.
And you're aiming for enhancing your staff in such a way that it becomes just an ungodly
Yeah.
killer staff.
My memory's terrible. Did we verify that I have 2 shards of bone? One from the big pig and one from the vulture?
Right, yeah, you have 1 bone shard.
And I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good, Did you get a good look at either of them?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I was almost dying both times, so... I mean...
Okay.
Maybe in my mind, but was it real?
Yeah, you have one shard, not 2.
Okay. And I just don't know which one it is. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's a piece of an angel either way. Yeah, I suppose I would discuss this with the team then. So I would turn to everyone and say, right, well, I believe that I could possibly discover a way to enhance one of our weapons. I was thinking of embedding this piece of bone into my staff, but I suppose I could do it into the hilt of your sword, Cirrus, or into your staff, Gildan. I honestly don't know what would happen if I put it into the magical staff you have, Sia.
Oh,
Since it's
right.
already been
Well,
blessed by another angel.
my staff wasn't so much blessed by an angel, but is made of one. So I'm not sure.
Perhaps that would be the correct place for it. If we gather the blessings, angel after angel, who are left, the most powerful beings, would it not make the most sense, instead of separating across many different items, but to make one?
What if they don't
Most
mix
imbued?
and match? What if they're all at
Yes.
odds with each other?
That's my only concern. Is there a way that I could try and figure that out? Try to, like, touch them together and see what happens?
You're welcome to take my stuff and play with it as long as you don't break it.
Yes,
I'll
maybe
do
just
that.
feel the energy around the two. Or
I'll put,
something like
like,
that.
I put some goggles on and I set up my makeshift little potion maker's lab. And I would see, like, what happens when they touch. Like, very carefully. As carefully as possible.
And you're touching Sia's staff. Or
I'm touching
yours.
Sia's staff. Yeah.
Okay. To the
And
angel bone.
with thick, like, leather gloves that would probably be included in the potion maker's kit.
Mhm.
I would be touching the bone to it to see what happens.
Okay.
Touching a bone to my staff, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
Fuck. Okay. A 9.
It's a little more clumsy than you want it to be, as you touch bone to staff. But really nothing happens. They just sort of clatter together, and yeah, any old ape can smack things together and hope that it works, but I think you get the sense that it takes a little more than that to really harness any sort of arcane properties of these items.
Right, I'm just testing to see if there's
An immediate
if there's a
reaction.
negative response
Yeah,
between two different angels like that.
You'd
nothing.
think that you were hitting a stone against a random tree branch that you found.
Okay. Well, there doesn't appear to be any sort of sort of response at all. I'm not sure what do we want to do here? Do we want to continue to enhance Seer's staff, or do we want to try and enhance everyone's tools?
Well, I suppose that's a good point. We are Quura. We're stronger together.
So raising all of our strengths should be our goal, then, if we're working as a team.
Or you could make my staff better, and I'll just continue to carry the lot. I say with a not quite so confident. I'm just, I grin wryly.
Yes.
Perhaps your strength alone, Thrak. Working with us as a team is more valuable than all of us sharing it.
What do you mean? Mine? My
You're
staff's
the one
not
who went
ordinary.
to the effort of getting the shard. And we all told you not to. Or perhaps
Yes.
it was just me that told you not to. Regardless, I should not be partaking.
If you do indeed intend to go to such lengths, you may as well go do it for yourself, and that will give me ample time to be as far away as possible when you start.
I like the idea that you are the one who obtained it, and therefore you are the one who should benefit. And we all benefit if you benefit.
To a degree.
I look very. Been putting no effort into this conversation, almost very exhausted as I sit there in the corner, offering an opinion, but also genuinely, like I don't want anything to do with this shard.
I would like to check insight on Jilden.
Okay. You can roll me an insight check. Jilden, if you're trying to act like you're not injured, you can roll a deception check. Or a constitution check if you just feel like naturally she wouldn't look that messed up. Gotta be a 17.
13.
I guess you can describe to us how Jilden looks to Cirrus then.
Usually, there's a very combative energy around Jilden. She, despite her age, she sits tall. She looks proud. She will argue with gusto and usually be very animated in proving a point. And right now, she is hunched over somewhat, leaning on her staff. She is barely making any effort towards this conversation. It would look to anybody observing who knows her well that there's obviously something not quite right.
Jilden, are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. Just had a wonderful sleep with all of my friends.
wonderful sleep with all of my friends is what tips me off. I was willing to let it go and be like, all right, you know, like she's a grown turtle. She's a grown turtle. She can tell me she's capable, independent, you know, but the moment you said I had a lovely sleep with all of my friends. Yeah, I'm gonna, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think if you looked closely enough, there would be a small pool of blood that is still dripping. It's like a wound that just doesn't seem to scab over. It is still.
Okay. What happened here? I come over and I kneel down in front of you, and I'm looking around you now.
Just sort of feebly trying to bat you away a little bit.
What happened? Oh goodness.
It's the price. The price of war. That's all it is. It'll be fine.
War.
Yes, it'll be fine. The body is fantastic at healing. Eventually, probably.
I gesture to the bleeding, weeping wound that will not heal.
It's just being stubborn.
Did it bite you?
Did what bite me?
Did Bibble bite you? I mean the Wendigo.
There's obviously a bite mark when you look
okay.
close.
Yeah.
At that point, I just give up. I lean heavier on the staff and just close my eyes and just sigh and just let you do whatever it is you need to do.
Yeah, I put my forehead to your forehead and cast Remove Curse. And then
My breath smells suspiciously of mold spores.
That's just how old people's breath smells anyway. We're all going to get there one day.
Breath. Werther's original breath.
And then you can take 8 healing. Both of you will need to rest in order to properly heal, but this will get us through. Jilda, you have to tell me these things.
It would have healed. It's just fine, I'm sure.
It would not have healed until you fell.
Do you use your
Unconscious.
gods? Like your god in your magic?
Yeah, like
Or angel.
all of... Yeah. Everything is tied back to...
I think
Boreal
with
angel.
the amount of insight you had, I think you could tell that I'm just uncomfortable with it. Like whenever you do anything to me, I am just uncomfortable.
I see. Okay. Ooh.
While this is happening, like in the middle of her inspecting the wound, I come up completely oblivious to what's going on, and I demand Sirius's sword. I need to inspect your sword, please.
All right. I give it to you.
Okay, yeah. And then I take
do
the
give it to
sword
you,
and
yeah.
my staff over to like another table, and I'm looking at them while this is happening.
How does Sirius's sword look and your staff look? Are they distinct in any way?
Nah, my staff is just...
That's
Just
just
a
a
piece of wood.
basic length of wood.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm all for
mine is,
jazzling up a sword and all that, but has Sirius used it to swing at an enemy yet?
Yes.
I think she has, yeah.
Offended. Yes,
couple
I
of
have.
times.
All right.
You would notice that I think we've been traveling together long enough, though, that you would notice that I only bring it out in, like, the most dire circumstances. Like, I try not to use it.
Right.
But my sword, I think it looks... It looks like a military-issued sword. So, it's soldier... issued.
It's guts. It's the sword from guts. It's the sword from the sword.
No.
Is it a long
Well,
sword?
maybe it is a long sword, yeah.
Okay.
But you would notice that it's been like extremely well taken care of. So, the pommel maybe like has some patina on it, but like the blade itself is very well taken care of, and it is good steel. It's very high quality, but it's not like it doesn't
Fancy.
have any ornate detailing or anything like that. It is pretty like pragmatically built.
Okay.
It's
just
got
like a
sword from
standard
the first season
pommel
before
with
he
like a
gets
wooden. Okay.
well, a wooden one. Yeah. Like
Handle.
the handle. The handle would be wood, but it would have leather and then some other material kind of wrapped around. It doesn't have a dangly bit to it, and the leather is not intricately woven in any way. It's just like, do purpose. But again, the leather has been well tended, and the crossguard is. You would notice that the crossguard has damage to it. Like, it's been used. It's that the blade is well handled. The crossguard has done its job in protecting the hands. But
Okay.
yeah. Sorry, I got real detailed, but my sword is very important to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm imagining just like a standard English longsword from like an author of Knights of the Round Table TV show or something.
I think it would be closer to like, in design, it would probably be closer to. Okay.
You're a footman
like
in Warcraft 3.
It's
I understand.
the basic sword item that you get in any game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first
Yeah.
long sword that you
Which,
get.
to be fair, like long swords were probably pretty expensive, and a regular longsword is like a pretty cool thing, I think.
The Braveheart sword, but maybe the blade is thicker.
A claymore. It's massive. She wields it with one hand.
It's big. Yeah, that's why she's so buff.
Okay.
She's got.
I love that you knew that was a claymore just immediately. How obsessed with Braveheart are you? He watches it every night to get in character.
I
for
watched it
McGregor.
so many times when I was a kid.
Really?
It's insane.
Everything's
Love it.
making sense now.
The music.
Things are starting to fall into place with his character, as in his character as a person.
Not Thrak. Me.
No.
His
Yeah.
real life character.
Okay, I think I would also try to take Jildin's staff.
Absolutely not. Not a chance I let you take the staff.
I just... I need to look at it.
I am holding onto it firmly with both hands. You can look at it from a distance.
Trying to decide if I would just take it from her feeble little old lady turtle grip.
Why not make me
Jordan is not feeble.
make me an intelligence saving throw, Thrak.
Okay. A 9. Which is like almost the worst roll. It was a 2.
Yeah, I'm not
plus-
going to give you anything for it then. I'm just going to let you
Okay.
continue.
Okay, excellent.
You should know better. Thrak should know better. For some reason he doesn't.
Yeah, I think about it for a moment, and then I just am like, all right. And I am studying both the sword and the staff to try to discover which one would better hold the magic of the shard of bone.
Yeah, give me an investigation check and an arcana check, and I will combine the results to give you an answer.
Got a 17 on investigation and a 17 on arcana.
Cool.
So cool.
The
Which is my favorite
staff.
number.
The staff is hard to say because this was a branch from Ashk, right? Completely.
I'm looking at my staff.
Oh, your staff. Your staff is made of just normal
Yeah.
wood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your staff and Jilden's staff would just immediately be destroyed if you tried to put them through any sort of forging process here.
Okay.
It's going to be really hard to utilize this forge, which was pretty predominantly used to forge metallic items, you know. the odds of your staff being destroyed in the process are pretty high. The odds of Jilden's staff being destroyed in the process are pretty high, and you'll just end up with nothing really usable because you're just trying to use normal wood, and not some sort of magically enhanced wood like Seer's branch, which he uses as a quarterstaff. The sword would fare much better because this is a forge. The process would require you to melt down smelt the metal again and then reforge it along with the blood, and then forge in the element of the angel bone shard during that process. So the sword is a much better idea. Alternatively, you could just find some raw materials potentially in the cave and just craft a brand new item. You'd have to look about to try and find molds for what you would be able to forge, because it's not just swords. You could certainly recreate a sword. You could certainly try and forge something out of the presumably indestructible ash branch, or you might be able to find a mold for something else, a shield or a helm or something like that, braces, things like that. So your staff and Jilden's staff are very unlikely to make it through this process.
I'd start looking around then for molds.
You could potentially find something that you
options.
could affix to the wood, so you could make, like the end of a scepter has like a thing, and then you
Right, that's sort of what I was thinking. Like, could I
definitely do that?
make a piece of metal to put into the staff, and then somehow that incorporates the bone?
You could probably do that. Yeah, probably wouldn't be as potent as a fully, forged with the blood item. But
okay.
I mean, magic is magic, right? You're just using the stick to get to the end of it. Yeah.
I think that I would certainly, I'd want the most power out of this item as possible. So I think I'm looking around for a mold of some kind to see if there's something I can forge, perhaps using the power of the river of blood as well.
You can't use this forge without using the river of blood. Whatever you forge here will be forged with that blood. Okay, yeah. Is anyone else helping him look for stuff? Because this is a big cavern and a big forge.
I would ask.
Only if he asks nicely.
No.
I would ask, as I always do. Which is not rudely, but not going to beg.
In my general direction.
I would ask all three of you.
Oh, okay then. I prop myself up with my branch and I follow or look around.
Okay.
I don't seem to make any motion, but not out of malice. Would appear that I'm just tired.
I don't notice. I just assume everyone's helping me because they know how important this is.
I place a gentle hand on Jilden's shell and then start to look around. I'm uncomfortable with Jilden's level of discomfort at my healing that I've now just realized is a thing. I don't know what to do about it. Okay.
All right. Anyone who is looking around, make me an investigation check.
Natural 27.
I'll take that into account.
11.
And 17.
17.
Okay. What would you most like to find, Thrak?
Ooh, how big is this bone shard?
Pretty small, like like a golf ball in size, in the palm of your hand.
Okay, so it would need to be put into like a bracer or van bracer, maybe like a circlet or piece of armor. It wouldn't be able to be put into like a piece of jewelry or something.
The hilt of a sword.
It's a little bit big for yeah, like a ring or
Right.
yeah, a necklace it'd be quite big to be hanging around, something like that. So yeah.
Okay. I guess I would want something that all of us could wear. So I'd go with, yeah, like a van brace, like a bracelet of some kind.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the things you find. You find molds for several different types of vambrace and braces and things like that. You find molds for helms, for chest plates, for greaves. You find lots of different molds for different types of swords. You know, great swords, bastard swords, short swords, scimitars, things like that. Spears and lances. You find some oddly shaped molds that just you can't figure out, I don't think, what they could possibly make. Maybe it's like an ornate thing, like they make, like one is like a shell shape. It looks like it might make a conch or possibly a horn or something like that, but it's quite hard to figure out what it is. You find some for crowns that might be worn, you know, by like a king, that kind of a crown, circlets, things like that. But yeah, you find, I think the thing that you maybe settle on based on, well, I suppose each of you find all these different things and you bring them together and sort of look over them, but maybe your eyes settle on the one that you were looking for the most.
Yeah, I would say, does anyone have any preference? I was thinking we could use a piece of armor that's easy to take on and off in case we all want to use it at some point.
It's clever. I don't know that I have a preference necessarily.
Well, if it's armor, it's going to get in the way of what I do. If it's jewelry or something else, like a trinket, then I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be against it.
Okay. I guess that's a good point. If we forge a piece of metal armor that's like the wrist, are you going to give us are we going to need to have heavy armor proficiency to use it?
Well, it depends on what you're trying to forge, how successful you are. But I mean, generally speaking, if you're trying to, the difference between a gauntlet, like the Thanos gauntlet, and like a little vambrace that just goes around the wrist, is in what you tell me you're forging. So if you're using, you know, a little thing and you're only using a certain amount of metal, and again, you have to figure out how thin to make it when you're forging things. By the way, my real world experience of forging is extremely limited. Genuinely was tempted to bring in Cord
just to DM this session.
Just to do this session for me and be like, can you just run them through a thing? But I did look into it a little bit, and I think, you know, some of it is based on there's a few things that that are involved, you know, like even like the amount of heat and placement of things and how much metal you apply to it will apply to how thick the armor becomes. But yeah, I mean, you can, if you're aiming for a certain thing, I'm not going to punish you for, you know, doing it wrong, unless you roll an absolute shit. There's going to be a bunch of successes and fails that will determine the potency of what it is, how good it is, how well you've crafted it, and if you just massively fail, you probably will just create something that you don't, you know, it will be the worst vambrace possible. But I don't think I would punish you if you wanted, if you're just making a vambrace. I don't think it necessarily means that you would need heavy armor proficiency. Let me just check though, because I know there's a difference between vambraces and like bracers, because bracers are the ones that like archers wear, right?
Yeah, I think so. wrist guards or whatever.
Yeah, Van Brace
think our
is the chunky thing that goes up and around your elbow.
Yeah.
So
So I probably wouldn't want to do that.
Could just go for like a bracelet or
this is what a Van Brace is. You could attempt to make bracers, which are usually leather, but I think they do come with like metal, like the
yeah, and then,
layered, tiered metal over it. So this is a dwarven bracer here, and I'm sorry, chat, that you can't see any of these images, but if you Google Viking bracer, that looks to me like a dwarven bracer, because you're using dwarven Darrow, but essentially dwarven
right
molds here. So
mm-hmm.
what's coming out of this
if,
is like a thing that looks like a piece of dwarven armor,
My intention here is offensive, not defensive, because I think we need more power to stop what we're going after. And so I'm looking to make something that's like a focus of some kind, to maybe make our spells do more, or... Yes?
I have a I think it would make the most sense if we made either like a bracelet of some kind, something to be worn on the hand, or something to be worn on the head, like a circlet.
Yeah.
Because then, it just allows us to, magic users, to focus through the mind, and then,
Right. Or, yeah, okay.
Or, then Seer can have more power in his fisticuffs, or...
Some of this is going to be intent.
Yeah.
So there's going to be an element of magic involved here, and sort of spellcraft.
Right.
In that, what you're aiming for, being imbued into this thing, will come from you shaping it, your intention, your ability to imagine while you're crafting this thing. But if you make something that's a defensive item, it's more likely to be a defensive ability that comes with it. If you make something that's an offensive item, it's more likely to have an offensive ability. If you're building something that's designed for mages, magecraft, spell casting, like a circlet or a crown or something, then you're more likely to have something that boosts that particular class. So some of your intent here will matter. So finding something that you all share, and then figuring out how that works is again, it's up to you. But some of this will be intent. I'm going to be asking you like what the intent is. So if it is a thing where you're like, I want this to boost spells, I want this to boost, it could be anything, you think about D&D items in general, how they're crafted is, who knows? There are dwarves that are crafting these things somewhere. There are witches in swamps crafting things in a completely different manner. But like at the end of it, what is crafted is a magical artifact, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that will go into this, but a lot of it will be intent. And I think you've already passed your Arcana check for knowledge. So I think, Thrak, you understand that some of the element of making this magical will come from your intent and your ability to harness the magic and the flow of the magic and things. And some of it is going to be random, and a lot of it is going to be like you're dealing with magical properties that you've no idea. You're Oppenheimer here.
Don't really know what we are going to create
You're dealing
here.
with some completely random elements. There's probably only a handful of items in the world that are really ever been made out of bits of an angel. Blood, this angel seems to be a thing that they did all the time, but you're in the middle of nowhere, in the far reaches of the world, underground, and you've stumbled upon these people that live here. And even Bibble, you get the sense that Bibble is like second generation, doesn't know any of this stuff.
Okay. Right,
So,
yeah. No,
so yeah,
I wouldn't
so-
depend on him for anything.
Yeah. So this won't be an exact science, and some of it will come down to execution, but your intention will matter. As long as you're clear with what you want to make.
Yeah, okay. Well, if I were to make like a circlet or a brooch, would those, and with the intention of having it like enhance our magical abilities, would it matter which one I choose? Would I know?
There are a lot of elements going on here. You've got your intent. You've got the properties of the magical elements that are going into it. The shard and the
Right.
blood.
Right.
There's the RNG of magic.
Right.
You know? So I'd say there's like, and then there's the element of like what you're crafting. So if it's a circlet, it's one thing. If it's a sword, it's another. If it's a chest plate,
Right.
it's another. So your aim here is a sort of a 1 in 5. But you can at least engineer your side of things, being
Yes.
that
So,
your intention and the spell weaving element of the forgery, and also if you create a circlet, it's more likely to do something that a circlet would do. If you can make a sword, it's more likely to enhance something a sword will do, that kind of thing. Like if you were
right,
weaving
exactly.
a robe,
Okay.
you wouldn't weave a robe with the intention of it being worn by a knight who runs a vanguard knight running into battle.
Right. I saw a brooch or a circlet, but I'm also just working with metal here. So would a brooch or a circlet likely aid to magical enhancements? Is what I'm asking.
I'd say yes.
In your opinion, as a
it-
GM, I guess,
I'd say yes. That or defensive properties usually.
or defensive. Okay. Well, I don't want that. You know what I'm gonna do? To be sure, I'm gonna say I think our best bet to get what I would like to get out of this is to discover a way to make a metal staff, or I don't know. Is there some sort of metal spell focus item that's common in D&D? I don't know.
That's staffs and wands and stuff like that. Let's have a little look.
Like I think they use crystal balls, don't
Crystal
they?
balls
But you
and
can't
stuff,
really make
yeah.
that.
Right. I mean, you almost had access to a crystal ball at one point.
What about a dagger? Would that be used as like a spell focus?
Not
No,
really. You
that'd
can
be
use
used for,
anything.
like, stab stuff.
Technically, you can use anything as a spell focus.
Right.
But generally, so you can get things like +1 wands and staffs and things, right? It exists. So generally speaking, those are the things. A thing like a crystal ball, a spell book, a staff, a wand. Those are the wizard's spell focuses. Now, if you came up to me and said, I've made a wizard for this brand new D&D game that we're going to play, his spell focus is a circlet he wears on his head, I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, that's your spell focus. That's fine.
Okay. I guess let's go with what I would ask the group then. Do you think, and I would hold up a mold of this pretty plain circlet, and then I would also hold up a mold of a brooch, which is also fairly plain. Which do you think we should use? And I would ask the group.
Um,
And they all stare at me blankly for 30
No,
seconds?
I don't even look at you. I don't even
Oh,
look up.
really? Okay.
Sorry,
Well,
so
no,
it was a circlet
Revel
or a
in the
brooch?
discomfort, so I'm
We're
waiting
still
for
looking
it
at
to
the
sink
Circlet or a
circlet.
brooch. Yeah.
I'm assuming the conversation that you just had with the GM was all in your mind. So I'm asking, why can we not just create something for your staff?
We could, but I'm afraid that it wouldn't be as potent.
Wouldn't be as potent as a circlet.
Yes, there's something made fully of metal, forged with the river
see.
of this river god or angel.
And you wouldn't want a new staff.
I mean, I suppose we could make a metal staff.
Is there, would it bother you to use such a thing?
No, but then you may not be able to use it, and certainly Sia wouldn't be able to.
A bracer makes more sense now, or bracelet, or something you can just clasp onto your wrist or arm. A bangle.
Little bracelet would probably be. This thing is, imagine a sort of probably like a diamond shaped, or like a shark tooth shape is what I think I said it was. It's like a big shark tooth is what you're looking at. So a little bracelet with this huge thing on might not be a thing, but a bangle is definitely doable.
Yeah, and if you use the word bangle, we get an extra roll on all of our rolls because Brad is obsessed with Final Fantasy. So
If you build anything that looks like it slots materia,
yeah, we're good. You're in.
you don't even need
You
to
get
make the
you
checks.
win the
Just
campaign.
have it.
Tifa joins the party.
Yeah.
What would be the most... Threk, tell me what you think.
Yes.
What would be the most beneficial to us? The power that could come from a metal staff created with this, or an item that we split amongst ourselves? I would imagine that... Now, I'm not all too smart, but it feels something that we all could use would dilute it somehow. If you have a staff, you make a bond with it. You can commune with it in a way.
For once, I agree with the turtle. This is all well and good, but we better hurry up, otherwise we're going to get eaten or something.
Ready.
Okay, if we've been talking for like 2.5 minutes, calm
It's
down.
felt like 2 hours.
It has not been 2 hours.
I stare at him blankly, with all 8 eyes.
Right. Well, I suppose I'll make a decision then.
Would you like to make a check?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I'd like to figure out. I mean, actually, I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now. Is if we made matching bracelets with the angel, with the blood angel, that might help us bond further through the Quura bond. And then just one of them has the bone of another angel in it. And then as we go on, maybe we can add more bits to everyone else's. We can all just have like bracelets or brooches or whatever.
You can be Sailor Mars and I can be Sailor Mercury.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it'd be Captain Planet. Come on now. Heart. Fire.
Whose heart?
Me.
You all are, because it's just made of blood.
That's
yeah.
true. We're all hot. Hot.
Heart.
Hot.
That sounds cool. I don't say out loud because this is a thought that Thrak is having with someone.
Yeah,
It's not
I am
you.
having that thought, and then I relate. You know, what if we made 4 braces or circlets or brooches, and we all wore them? We made them all from the Blood Angel River thing, and we insert the bone into one of them, and as we continue our travels, perhaps we'll find more things we can insert into the others, but having the same magically imbued item would perhaps enhance. I'm getting excited. Perhaps enhance our bonds as Quura. This is the answer to how we defeat this plague. We have to work together.
No, thank you.
You might be
I
onto
think it's a-
something, knowing how this silly Cura curse thing works. No? We're all
Yes,
connected,
also-
so making something that's connected, maybe perhaps in just making 4, but one having the thing, the others might still be linked in some way.
Oh, I like that idea.
Brat turns to Jordan. Is she sitting down?
Yes.
He stalks up to her, and there's anger in his eyes. And he gets close to her, and he grabs her shoulder, and he says, "What is wrong with you? Do you not care?"
What is wrong with me? You're meddling with powers you know nothing about.
We don't have a choice. It's either we
Well,
meddle
You
or we
always
die.
have choices. Don't be ridiculous. I choose
Yes.
not to partake.
Why? You don't trust us?
I don't trust your gods, your angels. I don't want any part of what they offer. I didn't choose
So-
to be here. That's the only choice I didn't have.
So you'd rather die and let the world die along with you?
You think that is the only thing that could happen? Should I not partake in your folly? The only thing that could happen is we die, that I die? You're
I think
smarter
the
than
chances... I think it's far more likely that we fail and the world comes to a burning end. What happened to you?
that. What happened to me? I did. You're the one changing through all of this. I haven't done anything other than what I'm doing now since I first met you. Look at you. And I stand up, despite the hand on my shoulder. I get to my feet. If only there was a mirror in here so you might see yourself.
Yeah, like, he gets more angry, and he, shakes her. You're going to let everything burn because of some stupid thing that happened in your past that no one else cares about.
Thrak.
You're so sure of everything, aren't you? I had so much faith in you, you know, and you understanding how all of this works, following you. All this intelligence, all of these things you seem to keep inside your own head. Perhaps I was mistaken. Perhaps I
And
shouldn't have
perhaps
trusted
we
you at
were
all.
mistaken to trust you. Perhaps whoever chose you was mistaken to bring you into this.
Well,
That's enough.
if I hadn't been here, I don't think many of you would still be here either. So perhaps you should bear that in mind.
Right.
She has a point, you know.
Thrak lets her go. And he says, we make braces. Bracelets.
Braces.
And I go and get that mold.
I sit back down.
So you're going for braces or bracelets? Just to be...
Bangles. We're making bangles from the hit video game series Final Fantasy, specifically Final Fantasy VII.
Okay. Let me just look up Final Fantasy VII Brace Bangles, because this is what it's going to actually look like at the end of it. I'm going to try and find the most dwarven looking one I can. No, it's just the titanium bangle from Remake is what this is going to look like.
Yeah.
This is what the mold looks like. The most, that is it right there.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right.
Like an energy vampire, just listening to this conversation, you see a little purple steam rise off me and then embrace me as I heal myself at 3 times my monk level with wholeness of body.
All right. This is getting out of hand. You can do that now.
Yes.
I honestly,
Once
I
per
swear
short
to
rest.
God, I have no idea what you 4 can do. I've not looked at any of
I
your
can do
character
some pretty
sheets.
insane stuff.
I only will find out when you do the things that you can now do. The party is now
Yeah.
level 7.
By the way, yeah, I should mention this. I discovered a spell called Gift of Alacrity. I'll put it in the chat here. So every 8 hours, I'm going to cast this spell on myself. So I'll essentially I only have 3 level 1 spell slots now. And so I get to roll an additional 1d8 for my initiation.
Sure. Yep. Fine by me.
Time
Whatever.
mage.
Whatever you say you do,
Yep.
you do.
Yeah.
Okay. The second check I would like you to make here is an alchemy-based check. Do you have experience with alchemy?
Yes,
Right.
I do, and I have a potion maker's lab. It is one of it's one of the things I studied under Hod in the tower.
Okay. Now this is to understand when it happens, how you want to be mixing this blood with the other ingredients.
Okay.
The blood is you're replacing water in the forging process here with the magical blood here, but you also need to understand that there are metallic buckets that are attached to chains that you can have discovered over the 8 hours or so that you've already been here, which will allow you to bring up some of this blood. How did you first attempt to interact with and interface with this blood? If you have yet.
I'm not sure that we have interacted with this blood yet.
Okay. Bibble, at some point, whips up this chain, grabs a bucket of this blood, and just starts scooping it out with his hand, and is like throwing it on the ground and watching it as it kind of moves around. And this blood moves around really bizarrely. When it hits the ground, it's like watching, you know, the effect of Mercury? When you watch Mercury, and it's just bizarre to witness. The blood does that. It doesn't congeal exactly. It just sort of turns into a sort of thicker version of itself. But it loses very quickly after it's been pulled upwards and poured out from the river. It loses the glow and the light element to it, and it does look more like traditional sort of just, you know, deep red crimson blood. But the way it moves is strange. It's kind of stays together and moves in that kind of odd metallic mercurial way. He, however, does explain to you, Thrak, over the course of the night, that you should never touch this blood with your open hands. You shouldn't drink it. You shouldn't really even mess with it too much. But then he goes and does it himself. Doesn't drink it, but he moves it and just touches it with his hands, and then kind of just like shakes his hands off and wipes it down himself, as if he were just messing with a river. So take with that. Take that however you want.
Right.
But that is
Okay.
something that you've witnessed. You're aware that you can do this thing. And if just in case you guys were wondering, it's called the Leidenfrost effect. Just because I'm basically I'm really smart and I knew that off the top of my head, and Myre didn't type it in our chat. But roll me, and this is just an intelligence check, not a saving throw, just an int check for your, I think, your general understanding of how to approach the alchemy element of this. 18.
An 18.
2 successes for you so far.
Okay.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to give you 3 successes because you all found all the molds. So you're on 3 successes so far. All right. So the forging process for forging a bangle is pretty simple, but you will need to light this forge. You are in this unused and abandoned forge at the moment, which you will need to figure out how to activate, light, and get to the appropriate heat that you need it to, which is very hot, we'll say, so as not to be too annoying, but you do have to get it really hot. You need to find fuel and you need to ignite this thing, which I'm going to guess everyone helps you to do, and I'm going to give you Bibble as well, who's going to give you a +10 to the end of this. Can everyone as a group, unless Jildan, are you not helping? That's fine, but let me know.
No, I will help. I just don't want to carry any of this. I don't want any of this. But I will help for somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, you guys need to find solid fuels, coal, charcoal, that kind of thing, here. So that is a survival check, a group survival check, and it is a DC of 50. You have a +10 to your final roll.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, dude.
A 10 and
I'm
an
so upset.
11.
29.
we're pretty
Survival check.
close.
19.
Four.
So that's 29 to
58.
40, 48 plus 10,
48.
right?
Yeah.
We've got 58.
Right. That's a success. It doesn't count as your successes against the thing, but it is that you find fuel, because without this, you just simply wouldn't have been able to do it. The worst check of all of them, which is why I gave you a +10, the most dangerous one. Yeah, a little while is spent here as each of you maneuvers around and finds coal. Eventually, I think what you do is you find a store of coal that has remained, and you're able to sort of source coal and ignite the forge after what you would presume to be hundreds of years since this thing has been lit. It finally lights up again. Now, as this thing begins to reach the appropriate temperature, you need to regulate the heat, which means one of you during this process needs to become the person who regulates the heat by adjusting airflow and fuel and just be in charge of that. Who, Thrak, would you designate to do that?
Would you say this is a task that requires more strength or more dexterity?
What this does
Would I know?
is it removes someone from further checks,
Right.
any group checks. They simply become someone who's on the bellows, and they are simply in charge of continually refueling the forge. You can choose Bibble for this task, but I will remind you of this. Bibble might be insane. He's definitely inbred
Yeah, I
and possibly insane.
wouldn't rely on anything he says or does, so I would choose Jordan for this.
Okay. Gildan takes a nice little seat next to the forge here.
It's about time we had some warmth in here.
And yeah, you're just on the bellows, and you're in charge of maintaining the heat intensity for the process of creating these bangles. Then you need to find some metal. So the remaining members need to see what metal can be found here. The type of metal that you end up forging this out of is really not going to do a huge amount, aside from, you know, essentially if you roll really high here, you might make it out of adamantium, which potentially could give you a boost in AC. Other than that,
Okay.
this really just determines what you're going to make it out of. So this is a group check of, this is another survival check, but it's just the three of you that remain figuring it out.
Okay. Come on.
What's the check?
Oh my gosh.
Survival. Oh, the
What's
DC. The
DC?
DC is 40.
It's 39.
But it's not really. It's 40 to find. It's 40 for it to become something good, and if you all roll really high, it's 40 is iron, then it's steel, then it's tungsten.
So we got pig metal then in that case.
Got pig metal, which is gold,
Yeah.
right? You want it to be made out of gold?
Would
Only in
I-
Minecraft, maybe.
Gold's pretty soft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would I potentially be able to use my time stuff to let Cirrus reroll?
Is this the stage at which you would like to use one of those?
We
Yes.
failed otherwise.
Well, you don't fail. This won't affect. Just to be completely clear, this won't affect much of the outcome other than what it's made of. So,
I see.
Right.
a 40 is iron, is what these things would be made out of, which is a strong bangle. Underneath that is gold and bronze, I think. What did I write down? Gold, bronze, pig metal seems to be written here now. Above that, so once you start going above that, it's titanium, steel, tungsten, adamantium. Or
Right,
adamantine, not adamantium. That's a completely different. And then vibranium is at the top.
We all got 20s.
Yeah. If you all got 20s, I would have let it be made out of vibranium. It would have been really light. I'd have given you a +1 to Dex and a +1 to AC. So really this was a matter of smashing this to be able to make it out of
I think that'll
vibranium.
give you AC.
Vibranium now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess then no. I guess we make it out of what we can make it out of. As long as it's not going to affect the magical potency of it.
No, this is, if you guys smash it out of the park, you could have made it out of adamantine, which would have given you an automatic +1 to your AC.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but that's okay.
Okay. So you have your choice of gold or bronze or silver. Some of the softer metals. You can float ideas.
Silver.
Of what you find.
Silver sounds good to me.
Silver.
Silver works.
Okay.
It goes with my art.
Yep. Okay. So this bangle will be made of silver, is what it is. It's not necessarily a fail to beat the DC. It's just that it's a material that you find, and you do find some. You're able to find some silver ore. And again, this isn't like you're mining it. This is just you find a store of it, you know. And you're able to find enough of it that you think this will probably make... Are you trying to make 4 or 5 bangles?
It's interesting that you said 5 there.
There's 5 of you in the room.
There's 5 of us. He's not Quura though.
He's not, but he was extremely excited that you were going to forge something. And he's been walking around and helping you.
Aw.
And
Has
taking
he
part
been?
in all of the conversations that you've been having.
Yeah, we should make
And he
time.
comes over with
So
a
we'll make-
silver chunk of silver ore for you, and he's just involved as if he's part of the
He's
game.
so excited. Yeah.
We
We'll
should
make
make
him one as
5.
well. We'll make one for Bibble.
Okay, so you're aiming for 5 of these, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you find the silver here, and that gets placed in the hottest part of the forge here. So that is near the center of this ridiculously large heating bed, and that starts to melt slowly. Now, you don't have smith's tools or artisan's tools, do you? Anyone in this group?
No, I don't.
I think we covered it, but I just want to be sure.
No.
Okay.
And no one has a proficiency with those things either?
Nope.
No.
No.
All right. And
Uh,
you got to find them.
yeah, no.
Okay, the 3 remaining need to make me investigation checks. Try and find the items and tools for the job here among the discarded and abandoned ancient tools that exist. You need to cobble together a smith's tools pack, or an artisan's tools pack. Now you've
What's
got to
the
beat
DC?
a DC 40 and you have a +5 for Bibble.
Okay, well, what do we
So
get there? We got 24, 31, 36.
36 plus the 5 or
Uh-huh.
before the 5?
That's plus the 5.
All right, so that is
Unless I'm wrong.
1 fail for you there.
I'll let, I'm gonna, can I let Cirrus re-roll with one of my things?
Of course,
Um,
you may.
Yeah, okay.
Don't
Yeah.
screw up, it'll be your
Alright.
fault.
Time spell.
I'm waiting for the aggressive sound. Are you gonna play
Yeah,
it?
you got to play the
or is it-
aggressive sound or it doesn't work.
I have to play the aggressive sound.
Yeah,
in order
you
Yeah,
haven't-
to-
you haven't
otherwise it
cast the
didn't
spell.
happen.
Everyone's just
didn't-
standing around like, I think we need
It's
a
like
hammer.
literally
We're like
waiting.
missing a hammer.
There you go.
Okay, thank God. I felt really not at ease with just you casting that with no sound.
Yeah.
Sorry. Apologies.
Well,
Got 1 extra point.
Yep. Nice.
So a
38 in
37,
total.
a 38 in total.
oh my God.
Continues to be a fail. Would you like to use another one? You have 2 of those, right?
Yeah, I only have 1 left, and no. We'll just let this one go. Be a fail.
So what you don't have, I was going to give you a smith's tools pack or an artisan's tools pack if you did successfully find them all. You find some of the tools that you need for this. Enough to possibly forge something, but not enough that you feel like that you could do maybe some of the precision work that you were after. I'm not going to say exactly what the tools are here and there, but I mean, you have an anvil, that's already a part of it. You find maybe tongs, you find maybe a large metal dish, and you find a hammer of sorts. You can keep these items. These are Darrow forged items, so you have some of the smith's tools pack, but you don't have everything that you need to really create a master work. You're probably not going to be able to do it without these tools. Maybe somebody who, Hattori Hanzo might be able to work with these and create the greatest, dwarven blade of all time. But you are you're sort of a noob here. Okay. And now we move on to the forge work. The first thing that you need to do, Thrak, is an insight check. And this is for your ability to attune to the essence of the angelic shard. That this is for you to understand its desire and therefore its purpose. Yeah.
I would ask Cirrus to do that.
Okay.
If it's just one person rolling.
I mean, yeah. Are you not the one doing the forging when it comes to it?
I mean, why can't we all do it together? We are Quura.
Kinda.
Kind of.
Well, you're the person who had the knowledge of forging because you had read it in a book, you know?
Okay.
Tony Stark was able to build these bangles with a box of scraps in a cave.
Okay, that's me. All right,
That's
I'll
you.
do the
You're that
insight
guy
check then.
screaming at Cirrus.
I don't know what you want. Stop yelling at me.
Well, I'm not Tony Stark.
But you do have a box of scraps.
I got a 9.
Oh.
A 9
Yeah.
is your second fail. The understanding this shard's desires is very hard to do. Reading what this thing wants to become, how this thing can be applied to its purpose in the most efficient way, just too difficult for you to understand.
I feel like that's rather important.
Do you want to use your time bullshit here? I mean, essentially,
You know what?
you just can't make out what this thing is trying to
Yeah,
tell you.
I think that's very important, so. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna think harder.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use the power of friendship and Quura. Which gives me an inspiration point, right?
That's it?
No?
What are you after?
Something better than a fucking 10!
Oh my god.
A 10 is better,
Yeah, thank you.
but still a
I'm
fail.
glad I wasted both of those.
Bet you wish I wasn't manning these bellows now.
It's still a fail, but I will give you this. What you learn through the attempt at understanding this desire, and then also because this is from your perspective, you remember the fail and the reattempt.
Yeah.
So you go back before, you know, because you're running out of time. The heat, the metal's going in. You start to attune to this thing before you begin to apply it and truly forge one of these bangles and place this thing into one of the, you know, the slots, or slot it into where you'd like it to be in this finished product. You do in that process learn that this is from the condor, not from the boar.
Okay.
Its desire and its purpose is something around psychic magic energy.
Okay.
That's where this thing
Interesting.
will work. So for example, mechanically speaking, for us that translates to it would do some sort of psychic damage, or it would guard against some sort of psychic damage effectively. That's how it can be used and utilized in its most effective way. There are other things that are lost to you, though, that you don't get the knowledge of how this thing can be applied. But essentially, however Thrak interprets that, that is what he's able to pull from this thing. Now I need a concentration check, which is, as we know, a Constitution saving throw.
Just from me, or
This is now the true forging process, and what you are doing now is forging. However, You must maintain intense focus throughout this forging process.
Yeah.
You need to resist the overwhelming magical energies that are going to be at play. As you begin to actually forge the metal, you shape and work the metal now once it's reached its desired temperature. Bibble brings over buckets of this blood casually, as if it's not the blood of an angel. You know, he's just bringing this thing over like it's just nothing to him. And he begins sort of pouring it into areas, and you know, you are aware of when you need to apply, cool and quench the metal as you begin to actually forge these bangles using the molds, using the silver, using the blood, and your abilities, what your understanding of it, as well as the few tools that you were able to. The actual process has begun here. And the first thing you need to do is concentrate throughout the entire process as if you were concentrating on a spell.
And if anyone had the ability to increase my ability to concentrate during this time, they would probably do that, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
If only I
About
could.
if someone has the ability to do that. Upon immediate checking. Give me a second. Because I have to go through all of my stuff now to find.
I think you do. I think you have
Ability
tabletop.
checks?
I think
Yeah,
you
I
do
can
have
do-
something.
I have things that
This
can.
is a saving throw.
Yeah, I can do things for.
Don't you have a 1d4 thing?
Yes. It's an ability check or saving throw it makes. Okay, so I cast Emboldening Bond upon us all.
Right. Well, I'm at peace with you, so that'll work. You're
Yeah,
standing right
yeah.
next to me. And it's a
Yeah.
con save. A 21, I don't even need the
21.
D4.
Nice.
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway, alright.
Yeah.
There are some high. You guys are level 7 now. 21 isn't as high as you
25.
think it is anymore. Everything that
Ooh.
you've ever known about D&D, oh, we beat it with a 10, is out the window. You guys need to start. You want to be aiming for 30 from now on in your checks.
Well,
Welcome to higher level,
impossible for
slightly
me.
higher
I
level
can't
D&D.
get 30 on anything.
No, I know, but,
Right.
but this is where slightly higher level D&D starts to come into play. Because you
Okay.
are. So
Yeah,
start
we
to
don't have any items that give us any pluses, so...
not yet.
There's a 25.
Forge one. Okay. That is a success. You do have
Oh,
another.
you almost said
success,
fail, and I was gonna lose my mind. What do you want from me?
No, what I almost said was a 4 because you have 4 successes and 2 fails so far.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you have that is a success. That is to maintain your concentration. Now, you must convince the magical energies to bond with the physical properties of the metal.
Right.
And on one of the bangles, the angelic shard. And it has to form a cohesive, stable bond. At the end of it, the blood, the magical energy of the blood, the angelic shard, the magical energy of the shard, the silver, and your own magical, abilities and energies have to make a whole.
Right.
How do you do that? And what check do you think it is?
Oh, well, I would certainly tap into some sort of arcane, resonance that's coming from both the river angel, the shard of the angel, and the whole process. So, I think it would be Arcana
Okay.
for me.
Yeah. Arcana check then, please.
Okay. A 22 plus 3, so 25.
25. It is also a persuasion check. Make me a persuasion check.
Ooh. A 12 plus a 1. No, it's a 13.
It is also a wisdom saving throw.
Oh. A 13 plus a 2, so 15.
15. So a 25, which is a success, a 13, which is a fail, and a 15, which is a makes it breaks its success. That is a total success. So you get that is a success as a whole. You needed 2 out of 3.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, man.
I frighteningly wrote down whatever check they want, and a persuasion check, and a wisdom saving throw, and I was like, if they try and fall on their sword here, and they're like, I think even though I'm not good at it, it's a stealth roll, or you know, I was like,
And I was like, my strongest thing, please.
I'm glad that you did choose Arcana, because I think that was a good way to do it.
Acrobatics.
Yeah.
Just keep punching it in.
The final check here is. Oh no, it's not the final check. Sorry, hold on. You need to make me an athletics check. I missed one.
Okay.
I didn't miss one. I just didn't. I haven't done it. Second to last check is an athletics check. This is just the physical forging.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a terrible roll.
Because you do have to forge this metal into and shape this metal physically. That is a 9 on your athletics check, which is a fail.
Awful roll. Yeah.
Yeah, these are going to look a little more crude and a little more rudimentary than you.
Like an orc made this.
It's like an orc was trying to make dwarven bangles.
Overall, we've got more successes than failures right now. I'd like to remind everyone.
You do, yeah, you do. The last check is a nature check, and this is simply to understand the natural balance of the world and how the infusion of this magical blood and angelic shard may disrupt it.
A 29.
Ooh.
Smashed it. 6 successes, 3 fails makes this overall a partial success.
Okay.
There was a full success, partial success, mostly fails, and all fails. That was the different outcomes.
The full success would have been a success on every single roll. Oh, God. That would have been, yeah. Okay.
The thing that would have come out of that
Bangles.
would have been game breaking.
An ICBM.
Justifiably game breaking. You would have literally fought. You would have stepped back from the bangle and realized that you had created an ion cannon from Command and Conquer General with full targeting to anywhere on the planet. Okay, so you have tried to make 5 silver bangles. 1 has the angelic shard in it. All right. Well, tune in next week to find out what you guys made, because yeah,
That's time?
there's time. These are cooling down now.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah.
As they cool down, who would like to make the perception check?
Oh, shit. Not me. I'm focusing on this. So.
I mean, if it's the safety check, then I guess I'm still attentive unless Jilden wants to make it because she was not around.
I'll make it. 22.
22.
Ooh.
Jilden, during this process, there's been a lot of noise. There's a lot of bizarre things going on. He's hitting this metal. He's pouring this blood over it. There's this bone shard that he's carefully placing in to one of the silver molds, and it's creating a bizarre sort of field of energy around this forge. You're able, all of you, to sense that it's strange. You start to almost get that sensation of how it felt near the condor, almost a vibration to the air. There is sort of like a channeling happening here. There is a drawing of energy, and there is a lot of noise and heat being generated. Jildan, some of the blood that is just kind of around here is moving in a bizarre way. And you recognize as Thrak is kind of working on one of these bangles that it's starting to pull together, like that scene at the end of the Terminator when all of the Terminator mercury comes together. Some of the blood is moving across the room and coming together, and then it starts to slowly weave its way across the floor towards you as a group. What do you do, Jildan?
That shouldn't be happening. I reach out and try and poke Seer with my staff. Hey, are you seeing that?
Seeing what?
And I point my staff towards the blood that is slowly trickling. Unnaturally, so.
Yeah, there's definitely some bizarre... There are like two patches of blood that have coalesced and is now kind of moving very, very slowly. It's almost imperceptible, but it is moving towards you. And once you sort of recognize it, you realize there are two pools of blood that are moving towards the area of the forge where Thrak is working, with Bibble and everyone's kind of working around it.
I take my staff and I kind of push Bibble towards it and say, Bibble, this is your kind of stuff, isn't it?
Oh, what? Blood? Aye. Do you want some? I'll get you some. Hold on, I'll
What
get
is
a
that on
bucket.
the floor? No.
That's
hold
blood.
on. I point towards the pools of blood coming towards us.
What? He's moving. Is that moving?
Yes, I was hoping it wasn't.
Aye, that's not good.
What do you mean it's not good? It's your angel moving. Isn't that not a good thing?
Aye, not when you take it up and away from the river. I suppose I'll just go and... Aye, go check it's alright. Go on, just go and give it a kick. Go on.
I
And
push him towards it with my staff.
he's like dragging you. He's holding onto you like a child, holding onto one of your legs. Let's go together, eh?
I try and fling him towards it with like a foot.
I'll just do it.
We'll go together,
I
eh?
walk
We'll go
over. And I dip a finger into one of the blood pools.
What do you...
Alright, make me a
He said
dexterity
not.
saving throw.
The one thing this little freak told us not to do.
Goodness. Hold on.
11.
Before anything else, I just need to double check
Yeah?
the emboldening bond.
Is it still on? Yeah.
Is Jildan,
Oh, well, it lasts for 10 minutes.
Jildan part of the emboldening bond?
Surely it would have worn off by now.
Yeah, okay.
I am not at...
Oh yeah, it's been multiple hours.
Okay, yeah.
I'm bonded with Sirius. I'm not maybe at peace with Thrak. Actually, no, Jildan doesn't care. Jildan's at peace with everyone
Alright,
at this point. Thrak might not be at peace with her, but...
let's bring you over to the battle map once more.
Oh. Okay.
Now, let's say Seer and Bibble are here, and Jildan is over here. Would that be fair to say?
Weird.
I think you're all a little further out. Okay. We'll put one there, and we'll put one here. And I would like some initiatives, please, as you now
great.
face two bloody oozes.
Is an initiative score of 0.
So you are going to hate me
no.
for the rest of the campaign because I have to add a 1d8. Is there a way I can do that on the sheet? So it automatically adds a 1
Yeah,
d8?
you
Or the
little
cogwheel,
cogwheel, and it will give you an initiative modifier thing on there somewhere.
With a 0, you just dive in and become the ooze.
I'll roll their initiatives separately, I think.
Oh, it also rolled a 0.
It also rolled
Nice.
a 0.
Wait, do we need to do a
Bibble.
contested? What is that? Strength?
It's whoever has the higher dex score. These things have got
Oh.
a dex score of 6.
Oh, I've got a -2. So.
That's the same. What is your overall score?
Yeah, overall score 6.
Okay. Yeah, we can do a contested roll. Just make a dex check. 16.
14.
Okay, it will go first.
Yeah, I can't figure this out. So I guess I'll
Hold
just.
on, I'll have a look. Initiative modifier 4 at the moment, so you want.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, so you add 8 to that. So make
Well,
it
it's a
12.
D8. I roll a D8 every time.
Oh, you roll a D8. Oh, in that case, yeah, you'll just have to. So you can roll your initiative, then roll a D8,
Okay.
and you can adjust your own number there. So you just click on the number on the left in the turn order. So you add that. There you go.
I got a 1.
So yeah, so an 8 overall. So
Okay.
you
So
should be able to
8
adjust
overall, but I can change it. Yeah, I can. Okay, perfect. I'll just do that every time. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. First up is Bibble. Oh wait, no, we have to resolve Jilden's thing. You rolled me a dexterity saving throw of.
Yeah, you were higher, so.
No. This was before.
Oh,
When you touched it.
Oh, yes.
Which was an 11.
11.
11 is a fail. So here's what happens. The first thing that happens here is Jilden becomes engulfed by the ooze.
Oh, good.
So this thing moves suddenly much quicker. Not fast necessarily, but quicker. Oozes are a creature that is able to engulf you, and if you've seen the D&D movie, it's a big gelatinous cube is one of them. It's that kind of thing. But this is just this thing is much bigger than it appeared. Its size grows and it slimes up and engulfs Jilden. So Jilden is now inside of what looks like red jelly, and it's a big, enormous amount of red jelly. The other one suddenly starts moving around as well. Think Carnage MCU. Is the way these things are kind of moving around. There are like whips that come out them of these kind of blood pseudopod whips that come out. And this thing absorbs or engulfs you immediately, Jilden. So, let's see. On a failed save, the ooze enters the creature's space and the creature takes this much damage. 15 acid damage. You are engulfed. You can't breathe. You are restrained, the restrained condition, and you will take acid damage at the start of each of the oozes.
I use absorb elements.
Yep, you can do that. If the ooze moves, you move with it. And you can try and escape by using an action to make a strength check and escape on your turn. Okay?
Cool.
All right. First turn, Bibble. Here's what Bibble's gonna do. Bibble looks around. I think Cirrus.
Yeah.
You have a high AC, right? You have a.
I do, yeah.
Like what is it? 16, 17, something like that.
17.
What is it? Why is your AC so high? Do you have armor on? or is it more dex based? So the way AC works is that it takes into account either your armor, if you're wearing like a suit of armor, and you're like Alphonse, you're just a big armored creature, that's your AC. Or there's dex. So dex is also like dodging out of the way counts as your AC. How do you look armored?
Not exceptionally, no.
Okay. I think Bibble is going to cast one of his abilities here. He moves his staff around, and the blood that is in the sort of eye of the orb in his staff here starts sloshing out. This doesn't have like an open top or anything, it just suddenly starts spouting out through the glass. In the air, it forms into 3 blood bubbles that move over, one towards Cirrus, one towards Thrak, and one about himself. And then these bubbles engulf you as well, similar to what the ooze is doing. A huge bubble kind of wraps itself around you and then settles on your skin. So to us, it would look like you just had a film of red bubble blood across you, not like a sonic bubble circle, but like it's layered onto you. He says, "Do not be alarmed. This will protect you." This gives you a +2 to your AC that lasts 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah. He says, "If you don't want it, I can move it." And then he points to Jilden, but glances at Sia.
I shrug.
It's called Bibble's Bloody Guard. And then
Bibble's
he
Bloody Bib.
steps back. What'd you
Can
say?
he give it? Sorry.
I said Bibble's bloody bib.
Bloody Bib is better. Yeah, okay.
Can he? Sorry, he pointed at Jilden. Does that indicate that he can send it over to Jilden?
Yes. But he also looks like... Give me an insight check real quick, Sirius.
Ooh, yep.
Bibble's Bloody Bubble
Come
is good
on.
too.
21.
He absolutely believes that Jilden is already dead. He's given up on her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she just got eaten by blood that came up out of nowhere and just engulfed her. He thinks she's already dead. He's just trying to save those that remain. Again, he has that sort of indifference to death, right?
Yeah. Okay.
That sort of bizarre. Like, he does want to preserve himself, and he does try and survive and kill things that are trying to kill him. But there's a bizarre sort of indifference to death that he has. But you get the sense that he's like, oh, she's a lost cause, so he backs up a little bit. It is now Sia's turn.
Okay, I see Jilden engulfed by this bloody ooze, and then I see this other one manifest just beside it. I feel as if anything I do to this thing in front of me is going to or might potentially harm her, and so I may make haste and I move 5, 10, 15 feet to this other one over here, and then I'm going to swing at it with my angelic staff, this angel oak stick, and with a 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
For 7 points of bludgeoning damage. I'm going to invoke my Crusher feat here, and I feel as if it's like when you swing at like a, let's say, like a non-Newtonian liquid, like a custard or something, like it gets harder, when you hit it, it gets harder and more solid. I want to try and push it 5 feet away from me, using my Crusher feat, back into the ooze.
Yep. Okay. Do I have to make a check?
Do you have to make a check? Let me double check myself. You can move it 5 feet unoccupied space. No more than one size larger than you. Nope, no checks necessary.
Just have to hit. All right, yeah. It goes back. You see it pushed back. The ooze is bizarre. It's not just a big amorphous blob that kind of ripples. You see the force of your strike ripple through it, and it kind of folds over itself backwards. As it folds off the edge, it very easily sticks to the side of the thing. This thing has a climb speed, so you'd have to clear it off the edge to really push it into the blood. It can kind of goop stick immediately Nickelodeon gack stick to the side, which it does. So this thing is essentially like an L bracket right now over the edge, and crawling back up towards you after you do that.
Okay. In that case, I push the attack and I swing at it again with my quarterstaff for a 21 to hit.
That hits.
For 10 more points of bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am once again going to channel my key points. My eyes glow a neon pink, and I'm going to try and do an open hand strike at the creature for a 23 to hit.
23 hits.
You see that I actually did contact it, and then after this hit happens, I'm then going to push my hand even further. There's going to be a bit of like an air wave emanating from my hand as I try once again to move this thing. It now needs to succeed a strength saving throw and also take 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, saving throw is a natural 20.
Nice.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
I can't believe that this was the account in which I roll really, really well and not Kingmakers.
I'm gonna strike at it again with my last attack, which is only gonna be an 11 to hit.
That one misses.
Okay. I then take 2 steps back. It can't take any reactions because I did my open hand strike on it.
Okay. Thrak, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow him. So I can slow in a 40-foot cube, which I'm assuming I can hit both of them without hitting shielding.
Yeah, you can do it. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. Well, can you?
Okay.
Let me just see. What
I
are
mean,
the
they're
rules?
bigger than one.
They are, but
square.
she's in there, right? Let me, What are you doing again?
Slow.
Oh, slow. Do you not just designate a creature for slow, or is it every creature in an area?
It's up to 6 creatures of my choice in a 40-foot cube.
Oh, then you just pick them then. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You just
Oh,
don't.
it's of my choice. Yeah,
It's just that
So
you
I'll
can only
just
do it
slap
within
that.
the 40-foot cube, but you pick whoever inside of
Oh, I
it.
pick who. Yeah, so it just hits the 2 bloody oozes,
Mhm.
and they need to make a wisdom saving throw.
1, 2. A 9 and a
Those are
2,
2
2 fails.
fails. So yeah, all the things that happen, I'll put it in there.
Right.
They are slowed.
Cool. Give me a perception check. Or, yeah, no, just give me a perception check.
I will do that. I feel like I'm going to be upset. A 6.
Nah, you won't, because you don't know what's happening.
Okay.
Jilden,
Perfect.
do you want to give me a perception check? With disadvantage, because you're like being eaten by this thing, so it's probably hard to figure out what's going on.
Okay. 22.
Nice.
You recognize that when he hits this creature with a spell, and you're hearing, it's like being underwater, right? You're kind of catching stuff going on, but you recognize that while you are actively being burned and eaten alive, Thrak outside casts a spell, and you recognize it being one of those spells that he casts slow. It actually, you recognize the creature grows a little bit in size when he hits it with a spell. Or
Ruh-roh.
Awesome. But I don't recognize that.
correct.
If you're perceptive enough, you'll see tiny bubbles rising to the surface of this blood as I try and talk, but that's it.
I got a 6, so I can't see anything that isn't like a 4-degree.
Hmm. You also all know from history that I can breathe under water. I don't know if this is the same, but I can hold my breath. Yeah, I can hold my breath. That's the same.
Yeah,
So,
you
can-
yeah, you can't breathe under here.
But I can, yeah. I can't breathe in the water, sorry, I misspoke. I can just hold my breath for up to
You
an
can
hour.
hold
so.
your breath. So yeah, you're fine from the breath element or holding your breath element of this. For sure.
I'm not sure if we know this
Mhm.
because she
you
never
do,
stops
because-
talking.
But just for the facts,
was
in
good.
the pre-sessions, we did do an underwater segment in which
We did,
I went
yeah.
underwater. So
Okay, so the AC is now -2. Dexterity and dexterity saving throws. -2 to AC and dex saving throws. Can't use reactions. On its turn, it can either use an action or a bonus action or both. Okay. I'll figure out the rest another time. Okay, are you doing anything else, Track?
Yes. Can I move over this right here? Do I have to go around it?
No, you can kind of freely move around this map as long as it's not like the big red chunk areas.
Right, okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'll move here.
Okay. Alright, Bloody Use Orange designation. Let's see here. I guess we'll just do this. Seer, make me a dex saving throw.
A dex saving throw coming right up. Here. 14.
14 is a fail.
Oh.
This is unbelievable. This is your thing. You have a +7 to that?
I do have a +7 to that.
Okay, you become engulfed by the other one. The same thing. This thing just like rushes up over the edge, and like it's like a wave of water rushing towards you, and then it lifts up and crashes down. We see Seer kind of try to move. He does his like dexterous movement, but I think this thing's just weird, right? It probably just moves in such an alien way that you just don't predict where it's going to go, and it rushes around you, and you are slimed. You need to make me a... Oh, nothing. On a failed save, you do. This one is a lot of text for this one move, by the way, which is why I'm always reading. You take 13 acid damage.
Okay.
And again, you are also restrained. You can use an action on your turn to make a strength check, and at the start of the creature's turn, it's going to deal more damage to you.
Okay, I believe this damage is halved to begin with because I have evasion, which I put there in chat. It says, at 7th level, your instinctive agility lets you dodge out of the way of certain area effects, such as a blue dragon's lightning breath or a fireball spell. When you are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dex saving throw, to take only half damage, you insta-take no damage if you succeed the saving throw, or only half damage if you fail. So I take half damage.
Yeah, normally I'd allow that, but I feel like it's not the case here because this isn't an area effect thing that's happening, you know? Like, this is just you're engulfed by it, and it's this thing is burning you because of its acidic body.
Okay.
Yeah, almost any other way, I think. 'Cause evasion is unbelievable. I had it on tie, and it's so broken. It's wonderful. But I don't think this is a thing that you're evading. I don't think this is an area effect ability.
Okay, because I'm inside it, and then it corrodes me, so it makes sense.
I think that's what's happening here. Whereas fireball is like you make a dex save to avoid the explosion, or a breath weapon, which is like a line and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna whack Steven and GM of Doom you on that.
I appreciate it.
I think you can't evasion that one. Cirrus, it's your turn.
Yeah. First I'm gonna tell Bibble, put the armor on them, and I point to Jildan and Seer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
And then I'm going to move forward here to the end of this podium. It should work. Ooh, no, I should actually move right here. And I'm going to use my channel Divinity Balm of Peace.
I always think you say bomb of peace, by the way.
Like bum?
No, bomb, like a nuclear bomb.
Oh, Balm of Peace, yes.
Yeah.
This is my straight nuke of peace.
Yeah.
And I can restore a number of hit points to creatures of my choice equal to 2d6 plus my wisdom modifier. And yeah, healing only once whenever you take this action. So you each get 2d6. Hold on. 2d6 plus 4. 10 healing for each of you. And then just gonna double check something. So Sanctuary is a bit of a tough one because it doesn't protect the warded creature from area effects, such as the explosion of a fireball. Would the acid damage that this thing is giving off, would that be considered an area effect?
No.
I would assume so. No?
Well, so Sanctuary, wait, let me double check what this does. This is the thing where they have to make a whiz save, or it takes a new
Before they attack
target.
someone.
Here, I can put it in the chat for us. Yeah.
I mean, it would work. It wouldn't work from them taking acid damage since they're already in there. They're just passively taking damage after the attack has already been made. Whereas this is any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell.
Yeah.
So they're no longer
Yeah,
being
okay.
targeted. But if, say they get out and it tried again, then it would count.
Yes.
See what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah. In
Oh, you-
that. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Valuable.
Yeah. I think
Hammerblad.
in that case.
There is,
In that case. Sorry. Go ahead.
if I do get out, I will attack it, and if I do attack it, then the Sanctuary spell will dispel itself as well, just to be sure.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Mm.
All right. I'm gonna using my bonus action. I'll cast Sanctuary on Jilden.
Okay. End of your turn.
Yes, that is the end of my turn. Thank you.
Okay. First thing we'll do is Jilden, you are subjected to damage. It is 6d6 acid damage. 22.
It is half because I still have resistance thanks to absorb elements.
Okay. Yeah. That stays up for how long? Absorb elements.
Until my next turn, to the start of my turn.
Okay. Right. Yeah. You haven't had a turn yet. Okay. Yeah. So you take half of that damage. And then this creature is going to try and engulf Cirrus as well. Make me a dexterity saving throw, Cirrus.
Oh.
I think actually I'm going to move here with it.
Dang it.
You're in as well.
Dang it.
So
Dang
the
it.
first thing that happens is you
Cool.
take 15 acid damage. And you are engulfed as well. You are restrained. You take damage on the start of its turns. It moves, you move. And you can try and escape with a strength check at the start of your turn. Slimed. Okay. Jilden, now it's your turn.
Yes, excellent.
I cast Water Walk. It grants the ability to move across any liquid surface, such as water, acid, mud, snow, quicksand, or lava, etc., as if it were harmless solid ground. Importantly, if you target a creature submerged in a liquid, the spell carries the target to the surface of the liquid at a rate of 60 feet per round. I target all three of us.
Holy.
You watch as I just step upwards and out of the slime and then down the side of it and walk away from it.
Jilden is just god tier. Like between last episode and this episode, like the craziest god tier strats, dude. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I walk away.
Yeah, there's no way that you can do this in any orthodox game of D&D. But I think it's sick, so you can. And you can cast this to up to 10 willing creatures, so you can just get everyone out.
Within
no?
30 feet. Yep, so everybody around me can.
That's
Oh
what
my
walk now.
gosh, really?
Yep, every round, 60 feet upwards, so you'll just go up to the top.
That is so cool, dude.
Why would a traditional game say no? I mean, that seems pretty clear to me.
Well,
This
because
is liquid.
your speed is 0. So even if you have water walk, you can't actually move.
Well, you're not moving.
'Cause you're
It's
grappled.
the spell is carrying you upwards, and then you're moving when you're no longer
last
grappled.
sentence.
You're going bloop, and then moving.
It's like a levitate spell when you're inside liquid.
The spell carries the target to the surface of the liquid at a rate of 60
Yeah,
feet. per
you're not
round.
moving. Your speed is still 0,
Yeah.
but you're being moved.
I still think that you're grappled technically, which means you're being held. But I'm allowing it. I'm not.
No,
I'm
I
just
know.
If you were
I'm just-
grappled, you would be grappled, not restrained.
correct. But I think that's what the ooze is actually doing with you. But I'll allow it. This is for YouTube to argue out in 3 years from now.
There is
Wax's
one
gonna
thing
be in
though.
there sweting.
Wax gonna get all the notifications
till
on this
3
one.
in the morning.
Yeah, as it just
That's
lights
not
up. Ding,
actually-
ding, 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 ding. I feel like there's no way this would work, but I think it's dope. I think Rule of Call is so much more interesting. I love the way that the way that you whap this out, the way you pulled this out, and you just slide up to the front and slide down the side of it. I think it's sick. So 100%, this is what happened. You definitely do that.
Point of
and the
order.
other two have it. Yeah, go on.
Did Jilden walk away for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's free to. Doesn't have a reaction because it's
It
slowed.
doesn't have a reaction?
It's slowed.
Yeah,
They're
'cause
both
it's slowed.
slowed.
Oh, damn. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I was
Plus-
like, did she really?
Plus, I have a sanctuary, so that would have helped as well with this.
True. True. What a
Yes,
badass.
it's planning
Smashed it.
it. Don't worry. It's all
Two
under
Alright.
control.
combats in a row. Absolutely smashed it out of the park.
Yeah, me with my 8 HP. If I hadn't used absorb
So
elements, by the
iconic.
way, I'd have been down twice over. So
Did you? But
Um,
did you take the 10 that I gave you when I
She did.
came over with the bomb? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
She
dang.
then I
did
got
that
hit with
save
22 more.
Oh god.
yeah, if you hadn't have done that, I'd have been down.
Oh.
So good work. Okay, that was my action. Bonus action, I'm gonna wild shape into. Really, there's not many options. I'm tempted to do a swimming creature. Sorry, give me a second.
It's a sea lion.
Yeah.
I think you should wild shape into a big tortoise.
To a magic arm. Oh yeah, you are a sea creature.
That's so crazy. What a good idea.
Hulk out
While
into
you're
a giant
wild
fish.
shaping, Bibble is going to move your bloody guard, or his bloody bubble, onto Sia and leave the one on Cirrus, regardless of her orders.
Oh.
He takes the one off of Thrak and puts it on Sia and leaves the one that's on Cirrus and Jilda.
So the bloody guard does
Look,
what?
I mean-
It's an AC?
It is a +2 to AC.
Okay.
So you have a +2 to your
Oh.
AC, but he takes it off of Thrak, so Thrak, you no longer have it. And then I think he steps back a little bit because he doesn't like these things at all. You've discovered which creature you want to be.
Yes, I will be a giant boar.
Okay.
Because I am already.
We know, we've watched
my
your
favorite.
stream.
Yes,
Oh,
Good
Jill,
point.
sorry, yeah. Giant boar. The,
Boar.
boar. There's so many giant creatures. Giant boar.
How big are we talking about here?
For the
How
giant
big a pig?
boar.
How
It's
big is the giant ball?
It's pretty big.
technically large, if that's what you're after. But
Okay. Right, yeah, it's relevant. Thank you.
Okay, now let me just give you access. This is the third creature.
Yes. I actually have not really wild shaped into many creatures.
Jilden can be edited by Jilden. Check to see if you can move that around.
yes.
Boar. There you go. You are now a giant boar. Sia, it is your turn.
Okay, well, I'm going to plop out to the north then, in that case. I can't move myself. Thank you. And then I'm going to continue to swing at this thing with my staff. A 15 to hit.
15 hits.
For 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Correct. I'm then going to try and keep harrying it towards the edge. So down south. And south. For 5 feet.
Okay.
I then... Oh, I'm right next. Am I in range of this guy over here?
Yes. Yeah, you are.
I am. Okay.
It's a
So
square,
in that case-
you know, like...
Right. I run downwards in that case, so I stay within range of the other one. And I'm going to swing at it again with my staff. For 25 to hit.
25 hits.
For 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
And then the open hand onslaught of my flurry of blows with a 12 to hit.
12 is a miss.
And then I spin for another flurry of blows for a 9 to hit.
Miss.
Alright, well. Damn, I say. And wait to be engulfed again.
Okay. Thrak.
Yeah, I spend my turn staring at the giant ball. Next.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
I'm just in shock. My mouth is open, and I'm staring at the giant ball, I think, and just like memories are flashing through my mind. And
Oh, that's
I
so
want to
cool.
say, I'll maybe even get a little pissed off.
Okay. Dex save, please. Sia.
No one likes a ball. Alright. Dex save coming right up. 19.
Okay. On a successful save, you can choose to be pushed 5 feet back or to the side of the ooze. So that is what happens. You may move.
Okay.
You can actually move anywhere around that thing if you want.
I choose to be moved to the side of the ooze.
Yep, put yourself where you want.
So,
Totally fine. Cirrus, yeah, this thing just like and you dodge out of the way of it as it blobs over towards you and moves to one side. Cirrus's turn.
Okay. I can get out, right? Because of the spell. That
Correct. Yes.
was
you
that
just-
affecting me also? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. You float
Yes.
up to the top of it and you can slide down the side of it like Jildan did.
It will last for
Okay.
an hour, by the way. So if you get engulfed again, it will
Okay,
continue.
that is
In
so-
fact, I don't think you could even be engulfed now because it is solid ground to you at this point. So
Literally so cool. Literally OP strat clutch.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask if anyone else has noticed that when you use spells on this thing, that it like? Can I see if I've noticed that?
No.
No. Okay.
Because no one
I
has
haven't
used a
noticed that.
spell on it since the last time.
Right. Okay.
Jildan was the only one.
Also,
Close
I think
enough.
my concentration was broke, so I don't think slow is on them anymore.
It changes much.
Okay. In that case, this sucks, but I don't think I have thought of any other options here. I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds on it. Whoa. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Actually 20, yeah.
That's
gonna hit.
20. Yeah. So that much.
Okay.
Necrotic
did you
damage.
cast it at a higher level?
Yes, I cast it at level 2.
Right. So it does. But I've literally got no idea how much that is. 18.
Is it all
plus
of those numbers together?
14
Yeah.
plus 7 plus 9. 48 damage. Is that the most damage that someone's done in one turn so far? We should like keep a tally of that.
Max Fireball
Not
might have
sure.
done similar at one point.
Yes.
No, but Sirius is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Single
When
target,
I
yes.
do hit.
Yeah.
Right.
48 damage. Okay, this
Jesus,
thing
like Shadow Heart for real.
swells in size. So
Oh, I'm gonna guess it's gonna get that in HP, isn't it?
no,
Okay.
it's not getting it in HP. It is regaining HP whenever you hit it with a spell, though. So that is. That amount. All right. 15 feet, 10 feet away. You're within 10 feet of it. Make me a Dex saving throw, please, Cirrus.
Okay. 18.
18. All right. So you're only gonna take a half of the damage that comes from this. When you do this, you sort of inflict wounds. Your hands probably just turn black, and this horrible arcane energy spreads out and affects this creature. It absorbs some of the magic and then releases it in a chaotic burst. And it deals 4d8 force damage. Ah, you got lucky.
Horse damage.
Force damage. You only take half of that because you made a successful dex save, so you take 4.
4.
But
okay.
you are now aware.
That could have been so
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been terrible.
Alright.
Don't use spells.
Your turn. What's still your turn? You doing anything
Yeah,
else?
okay. I would like to. I guess I can't. It would have opportunity attack on me, right?
Yep.
If I tried to move away. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I can disengage, so God, it was so bad.
Yeah.
Do I risk taking the opportunity attack chance versus taking the definite hit next turn? I'm gonna run. I'm gonna try and get away from it.
Okay. As you move, one of the strings of slime whip out towards you in an attempt at your attack. Remember, you have a +2 to your AC. For an 11, that's going to be a miss. You duck underneath it. It whips over your head, and you dash and run away into whichever direction and wherever you want to go.
Yeah. I want to go over here. Thank you.
Okay. I think it's going to chase you, though, because it's its turn now. And it's going to try and hit you again.
Oh,
Natural 1. Roll me a d20, please. It is going to suffer the wrath of my
15.
crit fails. A 15. Roll me a d6. It's going to injure itself for that amount. I think the pseudopod just breaks off and lands
2.
somewhere. 2. It takes 2 damage. Which I guess comes out of this. Okay. Jilden, your turn.
In boar form, I take a few steps back and then go charging towards this. I think, do I still get the added melee damage from the absorb elements, or does that dissipate because I didn't melee last turn?
Let's find out. Absorb elements. When you cast it, also the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next turn, the target takes an extra 1d6. No, you still got it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I guess you could install that indefinitely, or I guess.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I mean.
So that
I
would
don't
be a
know,
15
YouTube comments
to
are
hit?
going to have an absolute fucking field day with this one
Absolutely.
today. 15 misses, I'm afraid. If slow was up, it wouldn't have done.
Oh. Well,
Maybe you
that's
just bounce
weird.
into it. What's that
Damn,
big
yes, I
that
just-
big inflatable My Hero Academia character when everyone just what's his name?
Oh,
That's what happens when everyone tries to attack him and he just bounces and back out.
same as an X-Men villain.
Yeah, the
Can't
blob.
remember.
Blob, yeah.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to regen 1d8 hit points to myself. That's 4. And then I'm gonna back away, absorbing any attack of opportunity.
Okay. It doesn't have one. It's used its attack of opportunity.
Did it not reset on its turn?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. You're right.
You're welcome.
I was waiting for a new round for some reason because it's getting late and I'm tired. It missed anyway.
Yeah.
All right, Bibble.
Bibble.
Bibble's all of his blood moves probably aren't going to work, and he's aware of it. You know what? You know what? I might have him try and do. No, I won't.
Oh.
I won't. I won't do that. Yeah, he can't do shit. He can't hurt these things. Yeah, he can't really hurt them. I mean, he has had a long rest. He could do a Kamehameha again. I'm gonna roll a d2 because he's scared of them. He doesn't like them. Oh, he's gonna do it. Kame. Let's see. A DC 12 Dex check from both of them. 1, 2. A fail and a make for 33. A Kamehameha goes off again. Just a huge line of arcane energy fires out of the end of the of Bibble's staff. It's a ridiculous spell that it doesn't seem like he should be capable of, and yet he is able to do so, and he deals 33 damage to each of these things. No, he does 33 to that one, and he does 16 to this one.
Nice.
And then he's got to stand there because he is scared of... Oh no, he doesn't, because he can take opportunity attacks as he runs away. Sia, your turn.
I am going to continue harrying this creature with my staff. I swing at it once for an 11. I swing again for a 12. I then cuss, burn another key point, mark the other ones off, and punch for a 24
Okay, that hits.
for 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And then I punch again for another 24 for 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And I'm just looking really quickly to see if I can do anything at all to this creature that might be useful. And after wasting all your time, I've realized, no, I don't. So that's my turn.
Okay. Thrak, your turn. You're able to tell that
Okay.
these things are moving slower. The size of them has been dramatically reduced. They look, you know, like they're dying for all intents and purposes, but they are much smaller than they were when they first engulfed Jildan and Sia.
Yeah, so so Thrak is standing there and he was sort of dumbstruck and he sees the
Oh yeah, he
boar.
doesn't care about the things, I forgot, yeah.
Um,
Saw a boar.
and he, I think, flashes of images of his clan and his visions that he was having go through his mind, and he just, I think he is feeling a certain amount of emotions, and he just lets loose just a bloody war cry. And just, "Ah!" and he sprints straight towards the nearest bloody ooze, remembering the wind going through his hair when he was young, and running alongside Big Boar as he would fight his enemies. He feels sort of a rush like he used to, and I'm gonna have him just run straight up to this boar, and canonically he runs right past the big boar, leaps off of the like anvil, and comes down with an overhead strike onto the ooze, but mechanically he can't do that. We'll say he misses.
He can. Give me an attack roll.
Okay. A 17
That hits.
for 9 bludgeoning.
You want to know how much HP
No
it's
way.
got left? Do you want to know?
What?
Do you want to know how much HP it has left?
He's got 10.
I'll let you kill it. How do you kill it?
Yeah. I think I just come down, flying through the air, bringing the staff down in a rage, shouting the cries he used to on the Great Plains, and the staff just sort of whacks into it, and the blood just sort of loses its form and just kind of splatters apart all over the ground.
I mean,
Yeah.
the slime just it kind of explodes. It loses any form. It loses any sort of life that it has. 1 hit point's worth. A drop. Loops up, and we follow it with the camera, right? And lands in the knapsack of holding.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, and some other blood maybe splatters, and I would like to, on my face, I do like a symbol of blood that's like a crescent moon or something that we used to do. So I'm fully in it now. I've completely lost my mind.
All right. That one's dead. The other one isn't, and it's going to try and strike Sia. It has learned that it can't absorb him anymore, so it's going to try and hit him with its pseudopod. A 26.
That just hits, yes.
11 bludgeoning and 4 necrotic damage as a sort of a lance of blood launches out and strikes you. I don't think it moves or anything though. That's the end of its turn. Cirrus, your turn.
Okay, I've learned that these things do not take spells, so I'm going to run down here and pull out my big fuck off sword, and I'm gonna hit this thing with my sword. Well, I would like to hit this thing with my sword, but
Well, I think you do. It just gets caught in a ooze. Slows down before you recognize it's able to do anything. Now it's just sort of stuck in the ooze.
okay, Dang. I don't think that... Is this... No. I was just wondering if there's literally any damage I can do other than that. No, that's it, I guess. So, that's it,
Okay, Jildan,
I guess.
would you
Same
like
again.
to Pumbaa this? Yeah.
Yes. 13. I miss. In fact,
Same thing.
I go straight through it almost, and then have to spin around behind it, like whoosh,
Yeah.
before I fall off the edge.
Bibble can't do anything. He just says, "Oh, it's up to you. Good luck." all my spells are blood. They're all blood apart from the one that I done. So you can't really do anything. Sia, he will just literally help it at this point by trying to attack it. Sia, it's your turn. Would you like to try and kill this creature?
I would very much like to apply kill on the creature with stick for 16 to hit.
16 hits.
For 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
And 21 to hit.
21 hits.
5 points of bludgeoning damage.
5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
Still not dead, I'm afraid.
All right, I'm going to then expend a key point and punch at it. For 20 points, 20 to hit, sorry.
20
to
hits.
hit, yes. For 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Still not dead.
All right. Then I step across my body, spin around for a backhand fist on the creature for a 9 to hit. And I hadn't it just gets stuck in the goddamn
Don't
bloody
tap
ooze.
it, whack it.
All right. Can Thrak do it again?
Yeah, I think I would like to do a leap off this tiny ledge and come down again. Like, I do the moon symbol on my forehead and and I do the same thing over. Staff overhead, leaping at it. I see the boar behind it, and I'm just enthralled by that. And I bring down my quarterstaff for a mighty 11.
To miss. Here's what happens. All of you currently are stuck in this thing. You're all stuck in it. You all pull your weapons out, wrench your quarterstaff free, the tusks, the staff, the sword, and it explodes because it was supposed to explode earlier on. It didn't. Now this is going to kill it, but this is definitely going to kill it, but it doesn't mean you aren't going to suffer. So everyone make a dexterity saving throw. You have to beat 15.
I got a 0.
Wow.
No.
Ooh. Or dexterity
8.
save is 0.
Yep.
20.
I have a -1 in dexterity.
All right.
So
If
that
you
was
beat
that
a
was a critical
15,
fail.
you take the full damage. If you got under a 15, you take half. No, the other way
This
around.
is an AoE?
This is absolutely a thing you can evasion. Yes.
Then I don't take any.
Okay.
Wait, it's the other way around, right? If we got under a 15.
Sorry.
then
Yeah.
we-
So yeah, 15 and above, you take half damage. Under 15, you take the full amount of 14 force damage as this thing just explodes into bloody ooze across all of you. All of you are covered, like the end of Carrie, in ooze and blood as it drips off of your bodies. And you have defeated the ooze. And I think we sort of see twinkling in the firelight of the forge as the forge begins to cool, the 5 bangles reflecting nicely, with one of them having that sort of shark tooth shaped bone shard in there. And that's the end of the session. Thanks for watching.